What were your thoughts when you got word, hey, Bud Crawford fight is off. Bud Crawford's going to fight Evanesian.
I think it was very upsetting, but at the same time, I think that you have to just brush it off, man. Just keep it moving. I mean, I think that you really, something you hope for, you want it, you don't get it, it's okay. I mean, it's life. I mean, these are two very successful young men. And listen, not getting what they want is a part of life. And sometimes I think that on this level, you generally always get what you want because everybody's around you telling you what you want and they like pacifying whatever you want. But I think that at the same time, with this one, we didn't get it. Just keep it moving.
Were you, and I'm talking about as a camp, disheartened when you heard Bud's rationale where he had said, hey, look, I felt like they kept putting the fight off. I said I wanted to fight this year. They wanted to make the fight in 2023, and I'm going where I'm going to get paid, and I'm going to fight this year.
Well, I think that one of the reasons, what the funniest thing about it is to never fight to be at this level, never really truly fight on a big pay-per-view fight card, right? Is to not really understand the business aspect of it. And I think that to build a fight is what makes the fight. And so what happened when you see him take this other fight and not build the fight and see you don't get, he gets what he wants, but the promoters as a whole don't get what they want, right? You don't put up millions of dollars to lose millions of dollars, right? So I think that's the part of life that he really doesn't truly understand as a fighter and not a businessman. As a businessman, you have to build. I mean, you've been part of these big shows and you see what we have to do. You travel out to Dallas, you travel here, you travel there, and it's like press conference, media. I mean, all access or whatever, everything to build the fight. But if you see in his uneducated perspective of what he thought boxing is, he got the fight, but he was the only winner, not the promoters, so they thought, you know what I mean? So I think that, and at the same time, I think that if you were to go into negotiations now with those numbers, you have no leg to stand on. As Fat Joe said, yesterday's price is not today's price. Because what we assume, yesterday was an assumption, but today is a fact. And you can't come up in my face talking to me about this or that when that's what you're doing. So I think that it was like something that was unnecessary for him to find out. Because you can go through life believing you're something in particular. And that's cool because you believe it's who you are for yourself, right? But when somebody tells you, no, you're 15,000, whatever the numbers were, because I don't really know what they were. I just heard about it. My brother sent me some stuff. So when you think about, that's who you are now. So you can't come and talk about, you can't, no, that's who you are. I'm a reference to who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't hide behind the machine of ESPN and Bob Arum. That's a machine, right? But they still really didn't promote pay-per-view fights. They had pay-per-view fights. They didn't truly promote, but I think now he's by himself. I think it's something totally different.
Do you think they'll fight eventually?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think that it may not happen because remember, his perspective of who he is something totally different than those numbers say. And those things are not going to add up. And he shouldn't think any less of himself. But in reality, you have to understand what the market says. And the market says no.
Is it disappointing when, I'm talking about for the sport of boxing, that fight like that doesn't happen, especially if you look over and you say, man, Tank and Garcia gets made. God, this
right.
For fight fans, this would have been phenomenal.
Right.
Phenomenal for the sport.
That's why you see like one fight can be made, one fight can be made. Like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder was made, right? Or Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia was made. But this fight was not able to be made. Why is that? In all three of those scenarios, there were one individual, one company in kind, right? It was, PBC. So to say that PBC doesn't work with all these other people is asinine because you saw him work with other people. right? Golden Boy, they work together, right?
And there's some people who said that PBC was the reason. There's a narrative out there that's like that's the reason why this fight didn't get
But
made.
then at the same time, he worked with. They promoted the fight with Tyson Fury twice. They promoted the fight with Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. So what is that about? So is it really that situation? I mean, that's what you gotta question. I mean, so I don't think it is.
Have you found yourself not only as a trainer, but sometimes when you guys as a trainer, you guys got to be like psychologists. You got to be everything. Like, you knew Errol wanted this fight so bad. Do you have to say, hey, look, I still need you engaged. I still, don't worry about it. We still got other things to.
Right. I mean, no, I don't think I have to do. I think that I do. I mean, everything I do is from it's like a psychological perspective because you got to know how to engage with the fighter, right? And know how to interact with him in the sense where you don't rub anybody the wrong way, and vice versa, they don't rub you the wrong way. But I think that's just a relationship. But I think that, no, I mean, I didn't have to inspire him. I didn't have to motivate him because he's. I mean, now listen, these are young men, and men really don't like to show their emotions, right? So you don't really know. You may not get the truth about a situation, but at the same time, hey, man, you live life, you don't get what you want, and keep it moving.